Well, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, today is going to be a fantastic day. It's Wednesday, the 22nd, and I'm excited because Wednesdays seem to be a great day for kind of a midweek checkup, kind of a midweek kind of thoughts. So I was reading today um, in Ephesians chapter 4, and this kind of hit me, this idea that in this time of quarantine, in this time of being home, that there's a lot of things that we don't have right now, but there's also a lot of things that we do have. And one thing that we do have is, for a lot of us, a little bit of extra time to think, a little bit extra time to pray, to consider what's going on. And so let me just read you this opening passage of Ephesians 4. It says this. It says, "As a prisoner of the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received." Verse 1 again. Let me read it again. It says, "As a prisoner for the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling that you have received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love, marking every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There's one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, for is who over all and is in all." So this thought that live worthy of the call that you've received, to live worthy of the calling that we've received. And I just think right now that as we are in this quarantine time, as we're in this time where we're home, this could be a really good opportunity, a really good chance for us to take a moment back and to really reevaluate. I think that for a lot of people, we're going to be hitting restart on a lot of things, a lot of opportunities to hit restart coming up. As we begin to hear signs of reemerging kind of back into society. I'd really encourage us. So often we just go, 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 go. And we're so busy doing that we don't really pause and take a moment to kind of reflect and review and to think. Right. We've all heard it say, like, plan your calendar or other people will plan it for you. And I think that a lot of times that happens in our life. If we don't plan our life, other people will plan our lives for us. And what happens is we end up just so busy keeping up with our daily tasks, our daily routines, our daily agendas, our daily things, that we don't ever really take a moment to just stop and reflect. Maybe you've lost your job, maybe you're on furlough. Right now is a great time to really begin to dive in even deeper and to say, God, what are you calling me to? What have I been called to do? Who have I been called to do, to be? Um, and then backtrack that and begin to say, okay, am I living the life that's worthy of that? So if you feel called to be a national leader, right, are you doing the things right now that a national leader should do? Or if you feel like you should be a pastor of a church, are you doing the things right now that you would expect a pastor of a church to do? And so I think that we've got to look at, just some things I wrote down in my notes here as I was just kind of reading and praying this morning. I said, to live a life worthy of the calling, are we doing those things in our daily habits? When you look and you say, man, I want to be a business owner, are you doing the things that a business owner should do? When you wake up, the exercise, the eat, all those things, like, are you reading the right books? Are you around the right people? Those daily habits and those routines, are you doing the things that that person that has that lifestyle doing right now? In our character, gosh, man, is our character strong enough to be at the level of that person that we feel like we've been called to be, or to do that thing that we feel like we've been called to do? Or will it crush us? Will the weight of that pressure of achieving or being at that place, will that actually crush our character if we're weak? Our spiritual life, are we praying the way that we feel like we should be praying at that level? Are we already doing that? When you look at a Billy Graham, again, if you feel like you're supposed to be like this national leader, Are you praying that way? Are you praying the way that you would expect a national leader to pray? If you feel like you're a business owner, are you praying for the economy? Are you praying for people that you don't even have as employees right now? Right? Are you praying the way that you feel like a business owner or a national leader or a pastor would pray? Are you praying that right now? Physical health. Is your physical health, are you eating the things that would sustain you at that level? Are you exercising at the level of what it would take to sustain you at that level? Right? Our mental health, are we taking care of our mental health at a level that would need to be sustained at that level? Our marriage, if you're married, right? Is our marriage healthy enough to sustain that type of place, the work level, your family, right? Your kids, are we doing the things that are required at the level of which we feel like we should be at? And so that's just what I was challenged with this morning. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1. I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling that you have received. So, again, in this time of quarantine, this time of just being home a little bit longer than usual, I would encourage us all to just kind of take a step back and spend some extra time. God, what are you really called me to do? What are you calling me to do? What are you calling me to be? I think God is far more concerned with who we are than what we're doing. Right. And so, God, what have you called me to do? Who have you called me to be? And am I doing the right things according to that calling? Am I living up to that? My prayer life, my daily disciplines, my character, my marriage, my family, my mental health, my physical health, right? Because we all know this, that the higher we go in our leadership, the more the demands there are, the more expected there are, more expectations there are. And so are we able to sustain that? Are we able to handle the weight of that? And, I think that we should all be kind of considering this opportunity to have a little bit of a restart in this quarantine time, to kind of restart and say, man, maybe we've been just grinding away at our jobs, just grinding away, making it happen. But gosh, man, there's been always this thing I've always wanted to do. Well, really pray about it. And maybe now is the time to just hit restart, unplug, and plug back into that thing that you felt like you've always wanted to do. Ephesians 4, chapter 1, live a life worthy of the calling that you have received. I want to encourage you with that. I know that I've been kind of chewing on that all morning. So God bless. We'll